Hey there, Skullheads. I'm Snags.
And I'm Old Silky.
And we got Stephen Bishop from the mighty Thunder Horse back on the show with us to check in, see what's going on with the band.
Appreciate you guys having me back, man. It's been a long time. I'm excited to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been about a year, you guys. The last time we talked, you were about to do the live album. I don't know that you were anywhere close. Like it was still a month out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Killer live album, Dead Alive in Texas. It just, and I'm not saying this just because you're on the show, was cranking out at work today and it fucking rocks. Tell us
killer.
about it.
I'm in the we recorded a couple of shows that we played down here in Texas, and then it came out better than what we thought. Like we haven't really been successful, capturing live performances, and it
Mhm.
seems like on these, we were able to to kind of capture what the band really sounded like. And I grew up on live albums, Kiss Alive 1 and 2, like
Unleashed in the East.
yeah, man,
Made in Japan, both of them.
Made in Japan, yeah, did a lot, like all really great stuff. So live albums to me were a big deal.
Sure.
And in our age group, that was kind of the formula. You put 3 albums out and drop a live one, do another couple albums, drop a live one.
Yeah.
So with us sticking to our roots like that, we thought, well, why not? After the fall, the third album did really great for us. We got a lot
Mhm.
of exposure on that one. It hit number one on Doom charts, which we're very thankful of, and we wanted to get in, and provide another record after that, like another studio album,
Yeah.
but with our schedules, it was going to take a while. So we thought that the live album was a great opportunity to kind of hold over, keep us relevant in in people's minds without taking a long 2 or 3 year break in between studio albums.
Yeah, it's a good
Nice.
one too. I think it's a good introduction to the band. Today I rocked that one and then I just went back and listened to the studio albums again and definitely worth checking out. All that stuff is on Spotify.
Now, did you have the same producer uh, on the live as you had previously?
No, no, it was a totally different guy. It was actually a friend of ours from a studio in San Antonio that we
Okay.
record at frequently. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey man, let me give a shot at it at tracking you guys and mixing it." And it worked out. We had it was mixed by a guy named Mauro Castro from El
Okay.
Paso from Sonic Ranch. He mixed it for us, and it was recorded. Like I said, at a couple shows around Texas. I don't even remember what shows they were.
All right.
We kept it kind of a little bit campy with a live track. Like the live track is like cell phone recordings of the crowd, and
Hmm.
and strategically brought up in the mix when applicable. You know what I mean?
Nice,
Uh-huh.
nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still probably more live than Kiss Alive was. They re-recorded most of that with Eddie Kramer in the studio, so
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Who would have known though? It's like
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a killer
No,
album. It's still
yeah,
a killer album.
it's just
Yeah.
funny how the right mix and production can make or break a release.
yeah. You,
So
and the live albums it's a tough market for live albums. They're hard to sell. People and vinyl right now is just a difficult market period. Like people, it's a luxury item, and they're kind of
Mm.
pricey. twenty
yeah,
five to $35, and
yeah,
vinyl's moving a little bit slower, even for the big bands.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know a few local bands that either go digital or they'll press some CDs, but vinyl is that, like you say, they can't move it. They could drop all this money or just go digital.
There
yeah,
was some band we were interviewing, and they had an interesting strategy where they would drop the vinyl and they just leak the singles on Spotify for
mhm,
like 6 months while the vinyl is like right there ready to buy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can buy the vinyl
Yeah, or
or
you
wait for
could
the
wait
single.
like a few months on
Yeah,
Spotify and they'd be leaking the singles leading up to a
that
release date
was
like a few months later. I thought that was pretty cool. It
yeah,
probably
that was
sold
uh that was
for.
Gunshine.
Oh, was that? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Gunshine.
I think that's a great strategy because right now the way it is like everything kind of comes out at once. So
Hmm.
people are getting music for free,
Yeah, basically,
online.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's why you get a song or two, you're like, man, I want this record. Well, buy the record,
yeah.
and it drops in July, and this was like 5 months,
Well, I gotta know now if you get the vinyl of Dead Alive in Texas, does it have multiple posters of each band member that fit together like a puzzle
No, I
by
wish
any
it would
chance?
have.
Yeah.
I wish it would have, but we did sit down. It was a limited pressing. We got a few hundred copies of it, and we did sit down and individually sign each and every sleeve.
nice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Because
cool.
That's cool.
we all live so far apart that when we got together, we're like, okay, we're just going to do it right now because usually I'll get somebody from Germany or somewhere like that that's like, hey, can you send me a signed copy? And I'm like,
Right.
Right.
shit, man. So I have to mail this one record around the country to get it signed by everybody and
Yeah.
then send it over there. So we, but yeah, I've got a few left. We have them on our Bandcamp. They usually sell really well live. We have the UK tour coming up. We're going to take some with us over there. So hopefully we'll be able to move some inventory.
Well, tell
So,
us. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Steven, you mentioned Bandcamp. I was looking for just some of your merch. Are the shirts you have? Is that all just what's on Bandcamp, or do you have stuff that you're selling at shows?
We keep a limited amount on Bandcamp. We try to sell more of our merchandise in person if we
I
can.
got you. Yeah.
And a lot of what we have, like I still have just a few shirts left over from the Japan tour. So those are cool because they have all the Japanese dates on the back.
Oh, that's
Oh
cool.
wow.
We have the UK tour coming up here in a couple months. So the shirts there will have all the UK dates on the
Um,
back, and whatever inventory we have left over, we come back and try to bring them to our fans in the US when we play.
Right.
if I'm not mistaken, you've got the Chosen One album cover shirt on Bandcamp, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the purple.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I only have
Your
like
album art is just awesome. I love
Yeah.
the album art. You got the theme going, kind of like Iron Maiden with Eddie, but you got
yeah,
the
yeah,
Thunder Horse, basically. Yeah.
yeah. That's from our good buddy Pig Hands. He's a fantastic artist. He's done a lot of big stuff. He did he did a Black Sabbath cover. He's done Darkest
Oh,
Hour and quite a few other bands.
what
So
what
Nice.
what Black Sabbath album?
he just did a recent one, I think, for the not for 13, but like something before the farewell show
Mhm.
and after 13. He did a design for a release in that window.
Oh, okay,
So
like a
yeah,
reissue of some kind.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, the guy is great. He's been fantastic to work with, and this next studio album will be the fourth studio album. So the theme is it's the fourth horse, right? The fourth
Mhm.
horse of the apocalypse.
Oh,
Ah,
nice.
We've kind of
awesome.
covered
Four
all three of
Horsemen.
them. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So
So,
we're
so, tell us about. I got a few things I want to ask about, and I'm gonna let I'm gonna just rattle them off here and let you start up with whatever seems interesting. But let's make sure we cover all of them. First of all, the other band members, because
mhm.
we've talked to you. This is the second time we've talked to you, but I want to hear about the other band members, what they do, what it's like working with them. I want to hear about recording the next studio album, and I want to hear about this UK tour. But you pick where you want to start.
All right. I'll start off with the guys in the band.
Okay.
We actually had a bunch of shows booked this year, but our drummer Johnny Lightning, he had a baby this year that was born
Oh,
extremely premature, and so
mm.
they've really been doing a lot of stuff, dealing with the baby's been in the hospital for a long time, for like six
Oh, that's
months.
hard.
Yeah, yeah, and
Oh,
so luckily, thank goodness for his family. Eleanor's at home now, so or the baby's at home with them now, so that everything's back to normal. But because of that, we didn't want to risk Johnny being out of town or anything, so we had to
sure.
we had to back out of Maryland Doomfest, we had to back out of Asheville Doomed and Stoned, a few other shows. and because family's first, right? We can play
Oh,
Yeah.
anytime.
absolutely,
So
yeah.
and then Big Dave Crow is up in Oklahoma, and he's doing really well. He's still recording. He's got a couple of bands that he does, outside of Thunder Horse, and he's originally a guitar player and a vocalist by trade. Like he only plays bass in Thunder Horse, and like never played bass before ever.
Hmm.
Mm.
so so he still has his thing where he's the main guy. And then Todd and his wife own an art studio in San Antonio, so they have a lot of time and energy invested into her art space, and she's selling artwork all over the world, and
Wow.
they do that stuff, and they're very successful in what they're doing. And
Yeah.
and I'm down here on the coast, living life, enjoying it, boiling dinosaurs and making gasoline for the world to use. So
Nice.
Yeah, so just for our listeners, you're offshore oil guy, right?
I'm currently onshore now, but
Okay, yeah.
I travel around the world doing right now I'm in refining, but previously I was in drilling and exploration. So
So
Yeah, okay.
you were on one of those rigs that float out in the ocean?
that's where the name Thunder Horse actually came
Where,
from.
where they shoot
Wow.
the fucking disaster movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's exactly it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I love it, and it's a oil makes the world go round whether people
Yeah,
like
it
it or
does.
not. It's it's the lifeblood of our economy, and I love fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Cool.
The
I
there's
bet it's lucrative too, man. Got a good a way to fund your music and all that stuff.
Yeah,
there
somebody has to pay for the trips overseas.
Absolutely.
Stephen, there's a show called Landman,
Hmm.
and it's funny. You get like this liberal attack about oil, and Billy Bob Thornton just rips into him
Yeah,
about oil, and just it's the
It's in
life.
everything.
It's in
It's in
everything.
this chord right here.
Yeah.
That monologue is went viral. I mean, it's all over
yeah,
Oh,
social
it's
media.
brilliant. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so good. I was like, thank you.
yeah.
Um, you
It's in
know,
everything. You can't reach your arm out. You can't get arm's length away without touching something that's petroleum based. That's just the
yeah.
way the world
It,
is. Now,
it,
do we need to find alternative methods? Yeah, I'm all for
sure.
that, and I'm all
Yeah.
for the cleanest energy possible.
Yeah.
And
No,
we need that.
it's just disgusting when someone who doesn't take the time to, you know, educate, and they just do a blanket. That's bad, and they
Yeah.
don't take the time. Uh, I remember in the late '60s, uh, Stephen Stills is on the Dick Cavett show. And so it's like 1969, and he's telling Dick Cavett, "We need to stop making cars, man." And you're just like, "What?" And
You're talking to two guys here who were raised by hippies, so
Yeah.
we know the
oh,
shtick,
Yeah. Yeah.
horrible.
and we're both like
Kill the hippies.
Yeah.
anarchist punk rockers at heart because of
Well,
it, you know.
well, we're all pretty close in age. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we grew up experiencing like all sides of the octagon.
Sure,
Like
yeah.
sure.
We
we've
know
gone
the.
through the disco shit, we've gone through the hippie stuff, we've gone through the hair metal stuff, we've gone
Yeah.
through the
I think I
90s.
may have recommended your band because if you listen to your lyrics are really good. They're really topical. Like, but a friend of mine was lamenting that there's no non-woke bands, and I was like, I got one for you, and I think I sent him your Spotify link. You know, your lyrics are talk about your lyrics a little bit, and we don't need to go down we don't need to get this too hardcore political, but your lyrics are topical, they're interesting. You think for yourself, you're not just parroting whatever the latest hashtag campaign is. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'm absolutely an equal opportunity hater of all politicians, whether they're right
Yeah.
or left. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I would consider myself
What is it?
I just
Politicians are pigs and snakes. Am I quoting that right?
absolutely, yeah, yeah. That's then you quote it well.
Yeah,
I
I'd say they're wings on the same bird, you know?
Yeah, I'm literally quoting his lyrics though. Keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm I've always considered myself somewhat of a libertarian, even though I lean more conservative.
Yeah,
That's
There
us.
I think this
you know,
describes us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are things that I absolutely like loathe about our current system, and things that I love about it.
Yeah.
And when I write my lyrics, I write about things that are important and relevant to me at the time. And you have to remember that Chosen One and After the Fall came out like during like as COVID was happening, and then immediately after. Those
Yeah.
albums came
Yeah.
out within 18 months of each other, and it was all right there at the same time.
Yeah.
And pardon my language, but we were all just fucking fed up.
Yeah.
Sure.
We,
Yeah.
we were sick of it, and like, I have a little bit of a medical background when I was in the Navy and when I was a diver and stuff. And I know that putting a rag on your fucking face isn't going to stop an airborne pathogen. So,
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is the dumbest fucking thing in the world,
It drove me
I
crazy.
consider it a shortcut to spotting idiots out in the world
Yeah.
It
because
Especially
amazes
if the
me how
guy's
many people
driving
still
his
wear
car
them.
by
yeah,
himself.
even
Yeah.
now I'll be like, okay, well, I know this person's telling me I
Yeah.
know not to, not to waste any time with this person, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you
I mean,
just
if people truly have like illnesses and they're afraid, like for their lives, and they feel that gives them a barrier of protection, more power to them. But it's I got COVID right when it came out. I got the OG
yeah,
strain, like
I
strain
had
number
it,
one.
yeah.
We all,
It's
everybody
it
got it.
was
Really?
it was the flu. I had it twice, I think. It's just the
Yeah, the
fucking
worst
flu.
part about it was I lost taste for a couple weeks. That fucking sucked, like.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what happened though. I stopped drinking $20 wine, started drinking $4 wine, and got just as fucked up for fucking
Wow. There you go.
a fraction of the price.
I
I
never
couldn't
I
taste it
never
anyway.
got COVID. I never got sick. When it started that March, when he was, all over the news that it was going around, um, February, my in-laws got really, really, really sick.
Mm-hmm.
My wife got sick, and I was sick, uh, laying on my couch for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember day three, I was like, Jesus Christ, like one of those cryptic, you're thinking to yourself, I was home alone, and I remember thinking, hey man, if you're this sick tomorrow, you need to go to the hospital. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
But then I woke up day four and I was fine. And everyone else in my camp, we were all fine.
Yeah.
And um, as it took off, my wife really thought, she goes, I feel like we all had it.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I never got it again. I never,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to me. It was like 3 days. I felt like a truck hit me
yeah.
because I lost my smell and taste for a little, about a week or so. But it fucked my wife up pretty good. Like it hit her pretty hard, and she was sick for a couple
That's
of weeks.
scary. That's
Yeah.
One
scary because
one one thing I will say about my, like, we were talking about being raised by hippies,
Mm-hmm.
like my mother was your typical group think hippie. Nothing atypical about her. I love her, but
Yeah.
come on. My dad was an interesting guy. He had a kind of libertarian bent, and he used to tell me back in the day when I was in my 20s and I was idealistic. He was like, it's all, he said, all these guys are owned. They're not really running things. They're just puppets.
figureheads.
He
Yeah.
said, yeah, none of this matters. It doesn't matter which party's in office now. At this point, it kind of does because one party is completely, anyways, we don't need
Yeah.
to go down that road. But he was like, it doesn't really matter which parties, and there's people behind the curtains that are running all this. And I remember thinking, yeah, he's a little cynical. And over the last, let's see, 10 years, I'm like, oh shit, he was right.
Yeah.
It got revealed basically. I mean,
Yeah.
you
I think when you're
saw,
younger, you have all these ideals, and as you get older, you realize that they're all lies.
but also just seeing the media, you know, like when my
Been
Scary.
my
Yeah.
favorite
been
example,
doctors.
and we'll get back to talking about your band first because I don't want to go to, but my favorite example was when Biden fumbled through that debate with Trump in 2020 for the 2024 election before they removed him and installed Kamala. Is Every media outlet was using the phrase "sharp as a tack." Biden
Yeah.
was sharp as a tack. Biden was sharp as a tack. They're all saying it,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
was like the 20 millionth example since sometime in 2016 when they all started doing it.
I
It's
was
like
telling
the
them,
curtain.
I was like, they must get a fucking fax in the
They,
morning that says,
oh,
here, this is what you're going to say
they
today.
Yeah, no
absolutely,
matter what.
yeah.
Yeah.
They get a an e-blast. Here's your
Yeah.
talking point.
And
Anyways,
I think Biden was scattered as fuck for a
no, he was
long
sharp
time.
as a tack. It said
Uh-huh.
so on the news.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Anyways, let's talk about what do you want to talk about? I do want to hit the tour and the recording and we'll talk about anything else too, but I want to make sure we talk about the new album and the tour. What do you want to talk about next?
We're done. We're done with the new album. We've recorded it, tracked it, and it's currently being mixed right now.
Nice.
I mixed after the fall. There were things I loved about it and things I hated about it. Holistically,
Oh,
I love the
yeah.
album, but
Mhm.
we wanted a fresh perspective because when you write songs and you mix
Yeah.
them and then you try to like you're tainted a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Can
you
I
got to
just
step back.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
me and Silky had a band called Booger Cookie, right? And it was me on all instruments. I'm a half-ass musician. Like there's a drum set right there. There's a guitar and a bass right here in my skull cave. It's my skull cave in my house, I call it. And I would lay down the instrumental tracks, then I would send it to him. He would lay down the vocals, and just mixing our little half-ass things that we will probably never let the world hear.
That like six people are going to hear.
Yeah,
I want to hear
I
it.
just I just when you get to the mixing stage, it's just so much minutia, and you've heard the song 20 million times already.
Yeah.
And there's always shit that anyways that you when you listen to it, you're like, damn, I never got that perfect. I never got that perfect. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about? Mixing it
Yeah.
yourself?
You get hypercritical where it seems like something's never finished when you do it yourself. And then,
Yeah.
you get fucking numb to it after a while. Like after a while, I was like, I couldn't tell when changes were made because it all sound because you have the sound in your head, and
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
matter what your monitoring system is, that's what you hear is what's in your head, right?
Yeah.
So I was and talked to the guys about it, and I love mixing. I've done it forever and ever. From live sound to studio stuff. I love recording, but we needed somebody else to do it for us. So we called
Yeah.
up a friend of ours, Brian Scott, who way back in the day, last time we talked about a band we used to be in called Pitbull Daycare back in the old days on
Yeah.
Cleopatra Records and
Great,
stuff.
great band name. I remember you mentioned that last
Yeah.
interview. We love that. Yeah. Pitbull
Thanks.
Daycare.
So the guy that mixed our very very first album, Brian Scott, went on to fame in the 2000s with a band called Union Underground and Cult to Follow, and like very very big radio rock,
Mhm.
big for that genre. And
Mhm.
Brian has a studio, so we called him up and he was interested in it, and he's currently mixing the new album. So we're really excited to have somebody that kind of does like modern production
Mhm.
Yeah.
on our stuff, which is really just kind of like heavy classic rock, in my opinion. Like
Right.
we
Yeah.
never know what I don't know what fucking genre we are. I don't think
Mm,
anybody
I
really does.
I
We just
think
kind of put out what we like.
you've got kind of a modern sound. You do a lot. You drop a lot of like samples in, like clips from what sounds like clips from a news broadcast or something. People
Yeah.
talking, and
That's our
I
industrial background. We just can't let
yeah.
it go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
no, but it's great. It sets you apart, I mean, and Silky and I are both huge into the whole doom stoner scene. We interviewed Todd Severin, who runs Ripple Music, on a few months ago. Just interviewed some of the guys from Kal-El. I don't know if you know that band.
Yep,
Just
yep,
on Saturday, just dropped that episode, and that was our second interview with them. We fucking love this stuff,
yeah,
and your sound, the way you guys do that, I guess it's because of your industrial background, that gives you your unique thing. Like Kal-El, their whole unique thing is the sci-fi
yep,
aesthetic and the sci-fi lyrics, and then you've got this kind of industrial edge with the vocal samples and stuff. So I think it sounds modern. It's got all this whole genre is kind of rooted in classic rock. The
yeah,
Hawkwind, the Black Sabbath, all that
yeah.
stuff.
yeah. And I think the new album really like it's heavily influenced by like kind of the like the psychedelic, era of like I would say like Pink Floyd metal era with Hawkwind stuff like that.
Hmm.
So we take it back to kind of there. But
Great.
think about if if a classic rock band like that had like some kind of like ear candy, but with Al Jurgensen's on vocals.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of where we're
Sure.
at, right?
Cool.
That's what we do, and that's been my style. I've always been in punk and hardcore bands. Did the industrial stuff. Grew up on bands like Sabbath. My very first record I ever got was Ted Nugent, Double Live Gonzo. So I
Hmm.
Nice.
grew up on that, like power, heavy, heavy rock and roll.
Double Live
Yeah.
Gonzo is one of the best fucking live albums ever
Yeah.
recorded. That's an amazing
Another
live album.
another great live album.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Uh,
Yes.
Um, so is there any details you can share, or is it too early to tell us the title of the album or talk about any of the songs? Too early
We
for
don't
that?
even no, we don't even know what
Okay.
the title of the album is. Like it's just now in mix.
Okay.
It it it's got like I will say this, it has I think 6 or 7 really like good songs on it, and then like some instrumental kind of like Pink Floyd inspired ear candy, samples,
All
keyboard,
right.
but everything, nothing is actually, there's no digital stuff on it. Like all the keys that you hear are like real Moogs
Oh,
and real
awesome.
like real Obi-Wans, like real stuff, that was
That's
Yeah,
actually
great.
tracked through amps and things like that. So they're like, and all the samples that you hear are like organically created, like if Throbbing Gristle would have done them.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like when you hear the boots stomping and stuff like that, that's like fucking shoes on a wooden desk type thing with a microphone.
Nice.
So
That's
we wanted
cool.
to do something kind of cool and inspired by the bands that we love.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And being the fourth album, we kind of wanted to have that, like, okay, well, like, we love Pink Floyd, we love Hawkwind, we love those bands. Let's put something out that we like. But then we've got some stuff that, people always put us in the doom genre. Yeah, because we have some slow songs and we're doom influenced, like, right? It's a
Yeah.
big umbrella for that name.
Oh
Sure.
yeah.
We fit in there somewhere, but then you have like some kind of, Sepultura slash Slayer inspired stuff in there too.
Oh,
Nice.
goddamn,
So
man.
yeah,
That's gonna be
Great.
it's a
awesome.
little bit of everything that we love.
No, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I like the Four Horsemen kind of vibe. It being the fourth album and Thunder Horse. I don't know. I'm when I make my playlist, I usually title them after a song that's already there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you might go that route, but
That's what we normally do, except for
look
the
forward to
first
hearing.
album. That was the only one that was self-titled. The other two were actually after songs. We'll probably do that again on the last one.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
last
got
thing
to
we're
jump
thinking about
out at
right
you.
now.
It's got to jump out where the whole band goes. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. You know.
exactly.
What's the what do you think the kind of ballpark estimate as far as when you think this thing will eventually drop?
I don't know. We're hoping that the mixing will be done soon. I'm thinking by September, like before September's over, I think the album will be mixed and mastered.
Hmm.
And then it really comes down to Todd over at Ripple, what his timeline is. I'm hoping that we don't have to sit on it for a year, but there's
Hmm.
so many
Uh,
good bands on Ripple, and
Yeah,
there's so
yeah,
yeah.
many bands before us, ahead of us in the queue.
Oh, I
You know,
see. Yeah.
he
yeah.
can't just put everything out in one month. Like he has to
Sure.
time it out and space the production and the duplication.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the ugly business side of doing, like when you
Mm.
do the fun shit's recording it and mixing it and mastering
Um,
it. The,
we
uh,
when
the
Yeah.
ugly part is the business side, right?
we talked to that guy for over an hour and just his schedule, man. Especially, I don't know if he's retired from his optometrist job. Yeah, he had that whole eye
Well,
doctor.
he's about to drop another book.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but his schedule was just like he was telling us his daily schedules, like,
Yeah.
get up at 4, work on my book, go be an
Yeah.
eye doctor for 8 hours, and then he's working into the night on Ripple. I mean,
yeah.
that
He's a
guy
fucking
is,
machine, man. Yeah,
and
he's a
and
machine.
thank goodness for him because you need people out there spearheading what was he's running the SST of our era,
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. He's the Greg Ginn of our era in a lot of ways.
yeah.
But
There's a
it was it was an honor that he would even take an hour and a half and sit with our
Oh,
dumbasses.
that was a great episode. Well,
Yeah,
He's one of the most
but
down
he's
to
a
earth guys ever, though. You know, he's like
yeah.
he's so down to earth, and he's so like he's a man among the people kind of guy.
Hmm.
Even though
uh-huh.
he's in a pretty important person in our genre, right? In
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
scene, Todd is an important dude.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great labels out there. You know, I mean, there's a dozen awesome labels.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then you have the next levels where you have the earaches and roadrunners and band and
Hmm.
labels like that.
yeah,
But we love being a Ripple band, and I'm perfectly happy working with Todd, and I'm
Yeah.
perfectly happy with the support that we get from the label. You know, we're
yeah,
like we all have careers. It's not like I can go on tour for 6 or 7 months like I used to.
Hmm.
Now I enjoy about a month a year,
Hmm.
so I can't commit to a Megaforce or a
oh,
Right.
Roadrunner or something like
where
that.
they're telling you, hey, you got a 200 date, you got
Yeah,
a year
Right.
and a
Yeah.
half tour, you know.
yeah. And
Uh,
we used to do those in the old days, but fuck, I'm in like my mid 50s now, man, and I have a job. I can't just do that shit anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
His the thing about him at heart though, he's just a music nut. And so it was just three music nuts yammering for an hour,
what's
basically. It's a good
funny
interview.
is I had just secured the Van Halen EP that came out before the first album.
Nice.
It was on red vinyl, and it's called the Warner Brothers, like it's got Porky Pig on one
Yeah, it
side.
was just a promo of some of the songs from
Yeah,
Van Halen one.
it
Yeah.
it went out to the radio stations, but I had just got it, and he's like, "I'm actually David Lee Roth's cousin."
Oh shit!
We're
Did
like,
you know
"What?"
that?
I didn't
He's
know that.
related to David Lee Roth.
I had
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
idea.
Yeah.
yeah. He told us that. So then, obviously, I had to go get the EP and show him that I had it, and he's like, "Oh my god, I have to track that down." And we like literally derailed this whole Doom uh, thing, and it just became
Yeah,
like a Van
we
Halen
went on
episode.
a new wave of British heavy metal tangent for a while.
Yeah,
He
true.
just loves talking music. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a great interview, but
He's so knowledgeable, man. Because like
Yeah.
he knows music, and that's what I love about working with him. Is that if I give him a product, say, hey man, this is some test tracks that we're doing. What do you think? He's like, yeah, let's go with it. Or he'll be honest and be like, that's I don't know if that's a right stuff for us. I've heard him say that,
Hmm.
and he'll call me up every once in a while or message me and be like, hey, have you heard this band? Tell me about them. I saw you did some shows with them. Let's talk about them. And he's always open minded. If I shoot him a message from the middle of Japan in the middle of the night, I'm like, Todd, I just played with this band that blew my mind. You need to check them out. They're called this. Here's their link.
that's great.
And
That's
he's one
great.
of those dudes that he'll like the next day he'll message like, listen to them. They're great. We'll see how it works out. He's just really open minded and very approachable. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that it's not. It's like you can't just go up to somebody at Roadrunner and say, hey man, here's my demo. Will you check it out? You
Yeah.
can with Todd. That's
Yeah.
great.
Right.
And
Right.
and but there's some value there where you're just getting real solid person versus a corporation.
Yeah.
You can't get your foot in the door,
Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
us. Like, he's the kind of dude, like he'll see him at a show and you just walk up to. That's how I met him the very first time. I was talking to Susie Bravo, who has a new band called Tits Out, which is like a Wendy O. Williams tribute band. Very,
Oh
very
man,
good.
just the band name.
It's
I got to look
out.
that up. Are they on Spotify?
I don't know. I don't know. It's the guitar player is her husband from Destroyer of Light, Steve,
Right.
and then Susie, and then like it's a great band, a great tribute band if you're into Wendy O. But
Oh, is it a tribute band?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
What's
Cool.
funny, you said tits out. I had this imaginary silent movie lady that I called Tets Weglin, like tits wiggling. It was a Dutch, some Swedish silent movie flapper girl. Um, but
What
it,
is it? Is
it
this just
never,
some fantasy in your head you're rambling
yeah, it
about?
never went anywhere. I was going to create this character, like it was going to be a comic book or something. It was just an idea. But
That's funny.
Interesting. Tets Weglin. Yeah, I
Ted
like it.
Weglin, yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
So,
my porn name is Ted Spoogen. So that
Ted Spoogen, there you go. See, now the story's coming together
Yeah,
here.
everyone's
Yeah.
got to have a porn name.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
We'll consult with you on the film script.
Yeah.
Um, so tell us about this upcoming tour.
Well, it was originally going to be UK and EU, but finances and timing didn't work out. So we're going to do 13 shows in the UK. We're playing like big places, small places, but the focus of the tour is we're going over there to do Stoomfest in London, which is it's a great tour. I think this is their fourth year they've had it in a row. Some really great bands, and we're really excited to get back to the UK. We haven't been there since 23.
Mhm.
So this
Oh
is
wow. Yeah.
kind of a return trip for us, and we had such a good time and a great, like a great reception there last time. And if you haven't, like we play every single night that we're there. There's no days off, but
Right.
the UK is fairly small, so you can do shit all day long before you go to the
Sure.
venue. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just a great place to tour. The people are fantastic. The food's good, contrary to what you hear. It's
Right.
I enjoy going there.
And the I feel like metal they really just across the world.
Mhm.
That Iron Maiden song "We're Blood Brothers" is it brings it almost chokes you up because uh, it's so fucking spot on
Yeah.
how metalheads stick together. The metal provides, man. It will get you through.
Yeah,
Um,
it's such a supportive crowd over there too. It's different than it is here. It's like, man, like people are into the music, and that's why I
yeah,
love going there, because like
they're
when you
more
go to a show,
passionate.
they're there. Huh?
They're more passionate. Again, with the Maiden, some of the videos they'll show Iron Maiden around the world, and they'll
Mhm.
be in like South America, like ridiculous down there,
Yeah,
but all through Europe, and these people will just stand there and cry
yeah,
because they're so and being a jaded American, you're just like, okay, what the hell are they crying about? But I think when you have nothing else and all you have is that album that got you through the worst, you know, peaks of your life and stuff, um, it it just means that much more.
yeah.
And now you came from the same time
Mhm.
in the early '80s. These bands, they were not just bands. I've said this before on this show that they were everything from the new Rush album, the new
Motorhead.
Kiss album, the new
Yeah.
Motorhead. I used to mow lawns all through 81, 82, 83. I would push this little bullshit mower up in Maryland around my neighborhood, and I had money to buy the new Priest album, to buy the new Ozzy, and that's all I did.
Yeah, yeah, man. It was I think we're fortunate that we got to grow up when we grew up, because like I said, we kind of bridged a lot of musical gaps in our age range, where it's different now. Music is different now, and the way people hear music is different now. It's not
Yeah.
like, it was a big deal for me to go, spend that, $7 on a vinyl album, go home, put it on, hear the needle crackling, and put my headphones on, my big gigantic RCA
And
headphones,
be
and hear that
looking
shit.
at the album and the liner notes, and if it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
gate sleeve folded open,
Yeah.
it was
Dude,
a
that
whole
was that was a big
experience.
deal to me to roll. Like, the front of the album was cool, but the back of the album is where
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit
And
made sense, right?
and does it have lyrics? Is there a lyric sheet in here? Holy
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah,
yeah.
You were
yeah,
all about it.
yeah, man. It was and that's, I think that's why we love putting out vinyl so much. CDs are cool. Sonically, they sound fantastic. They sound way better than
Yeah.
streaming. They sound better than vinyl. Like, CDs are the best, right?
Mm.
Sonically. But you just don't get that tangible feeling and all the bells and whistles and the fun shit on a CD jewel case,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
right?
And it's smaller. I just recently hooked a turntable up, and it is just cool as fuck to put the record on and sit across the room and just like read and have the record playing, and you're like, wow, just the nostalgia of it is cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's a, I know people that have never ever heard a vinyl record, and
Yes.
it blows my
Now
mind.
you get the naysayers who are like, I don't want to hear a bunch of cracking and popping. And it's if you got a decent turntable, you won't, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Uh,
And
and
if
who
if
cares
it's
if
new
it's a
vinyl,
couple? If it's a couple here and there, that's just the the grainy picture on your old movie. You know, it's part
yeah,
of it's part of it. But I wanted
yeah.
to ask you, Stephen. You know, we're a year out from Ozzy passing away.
Mhm.
The Back to the Beginning concert over in Birmingham. Um, when that aired, I it was my birthday
Mm.
weekend. It aired on July 5th, and I got the pay-per-view, and I didn't know if it would be an hour, if it would be 2 hours. I had no way of knowing. It ends up being a 10-hour broadcast.
Yeah,
Um, and I
I'm
sat
I'm
it just
driving back from the lake with my wife, and he's just blowing me up with texts.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God, this is happening, that's happening. I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, dude, get on the fucking TV. It's like,
yeah.
fuck you, I'm driving.
I had
But
to find all the YouTube videos later, but
but it was so amazing, but it worked out for me that my wife and my son were off somewhere. I literally sat here at 10 in the morning and watched this thing for 10 hours, and
yeah,
I was literally watching the soundtrack to my entire life play on the TV.
yeah,
And there were moments that were incredibly emotional. And then to have Ozzy die 2 weeks later,
yeah.
um, how did you take all that? What just being a singer and in a band, and I mean, you can go back to say Elvis or Chuck Berry or
Yeah.
somebody started all this, but I hang a lot of my music on that man. You know.
Yeah, like when Elvis died, it was a real big deal to my mom, right? It
Hmm.
was a big
yeah.
deal. When Ozzy died, it was a big deal to me, and I don't get like overly emotional when celebrities pass away. I realize, we get older and that's what we do as humans. We make our mark and then we move on. But
Sure.
for the Ozzy Osbourne, and Tony Iommi, like invented everything I love about music. Like
Right.
almost, that band, those four dudes from Birmingham created everything that I know and love about rock and roll,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm a huge Beatles fan. I'm a
Yeah.
huge Elvis fan,
Yeah.
but it really started to make sense to me when I first heard Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't think that anybody can doubt that, and like I said, my industrial background, well, what the fuck do you think that stuff's based on?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like you think Skinny Puppy never heard like, a Black Sabbath album? I
Yeah.
seriously doubt
Supernaut. I
that.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
even uh, what is it? A
Ministry.
10,000 Homo DJs.
Yeah.
Supernaut. Um,
We did Supernaut when we did the ministry tour in 2006. We in Chicago at the House of Blues, we played Supernaut, and Mike Scascia, rest in peace, Mike, got
oh,
on stage and played with us. That was a pretty
that's
big
Oh,
deal.
killer.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
I mean, for me, I heard Black Sabbath digging through my mom's record collection, and here's this like ominous, scary bitch coming up out of a ditch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to put this on. And I put that record on, and I literally, you hear the thunder, and I thought it was outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear that distant church bell, and I was like, this is on this record. And I might have been 7, I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, but that church bell, that was it. I was like, oh my God, this is terrifying. And I feel like I thought about the Hammer horror movies and stuff with the church bell, but just that opening riff, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, and that's I've never gone back. That was the moment for me.
No, I mean, think of, and that album still holds water today. Like you
Hmm.
can still put it on, still get the same emotional reaction today is they did like what 69, 70. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
huge deal. Like that album is that good. And the weird thing is they were able to do it that good again, what, four, maybe five times, depending on who you're talking to.
Hmm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the band was just, I mean, amazing and transformed like the way we listen to music now. Except there's not a single band out there in modern rock and roll that won't say Black Sabbath. You know, like everybody
Yeah.
says
yeah.
Black Sabbath. And then you have some bands that, I mean, you close your eyes, you know who they're like. Remember that band Orchid? Very heavily influenced by Black Sabbath. Did
Mm,
that music, did that genre very well. You know, they were
yeah,
great at doing that. They weren't
yeah.
Black Sabbath, but they were good at doing Black Sabbath, right?
Hmm.
And so, you know, yeah, hell yeah, we all take inspiration from them. And when
Yeah,
you're doing music at 65 BPM and playing scary, you know, sevenths, it's hard not to sound like Black Sabbath.
right, right,
You know,
right.
it's just
And
fucking way it is, man.
tuned
I
down, down
I
tuning
think
the whole thing.
I feel like a huge part of it was just Ozzy's down to earth, approachable personality.
An amazingly unique voice. Like
Yeah,
there'll never be
but
another one, right?
they were never better than you. They were just who they were,
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They were just dudes that you would like, just like now, you know, like you see Wino and those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
They're guys hanging out in a bar. You can walk up to them and talk
yeah,
to them and have a beer with them, just like anybody else.
yeah.
And you would think that back
That's
in the day, that's just exactly the way the Sabbath guys were. You
yeah.
know, they
Oh
go
yeah.
on the street,
People
you under
get
the table. You know?
people get in debates, who was more influential, Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen, and I would argue, well, if you're talking about people who copied somebody's sound, Tony Iommi probably wins that argument. I mean, there's
Yeah.
complete
Yeah.
genres, armies of guitarists out there that are just because he fucked up his finger and he had to downtune.
Yeah,
He created a whole
Doom,
genre.
stoner rock, the whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
so
The guy. I mean, like I said, those four dudes like single handedly created modern rock and
It's
roll.
incredible. It really is incredible. Tony Iommi's about to drop a new album in October.
Yeah, I
First
heard the
solo
first
album
track.
in
It's
21
awesome.
years.
Yeah, I heard the first track. It's fucking, it's
Yeah.
great. You know, it's very, you know, of course, you know, it reminds me of the Dio years, which is, you know, but
Yeah.
but
Well,
Tony, you know, Tony has a very distinct sound, and you know, with Mike Exeter working with him, who's like one of my hero producers and
yeah.
mixers, you know, is I'm excited to hear the full album.
Yeah.
The first track was badass.
Jorn Landa, the singer, he has an album that's all Dio
Mm-hmm.
songs.
Yeah,
And it is unbelievable how much he sounds like Dio, especially
yeah,
singing the Dio songs. So I feel like that's a huge reason
yeah,
that Tony tapped him to be the singer.
yeah. The he's got great pipes, man. The guy can fucking deliver, you know, and
Yeah,
I think that's a big
yeah,
deal. Like, you know, Tony Iommi is going to hold his weight on stage. He needs a
oh yeah,
powerful vocalist, right?
yeah,
And you know, I think he picked the right person for the job because that's what people want to hear. Like, you're never going to duplicate Ozzy Osbourne, and you shouldn't try to.
no, no,
You know, you know, it's like even though the music could be similar or heavily inspired because that's the style that you invented, that's great. But if you have the right person as the front person, the delivering the vocals, it's going to get across. And I think he made a great decision. And like I said, I'm excited to hear the rest of the record because the first track blew me away. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I,
and it was like
I,
7 minutes long. It was a fucking like an epic journey.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I remember when they got back together and they with Dio and they had to call it Heaven and Hell because
Yeah,
Ozzy didn't want them calling it Sabbath, and he was talking about having worked with all these vocalists in the various iterations of Black Sabbath, which was really Tony Iommi band, in
yeah,
between.
yeah,
He's like he had a newfound appreciation for Dio because he said, yeah, you work with some of these vocalists and they spend an hour drinking lemon juice and warming up before the gig or whatever, and they sound decent. And he was like, Dio's drinking whiskey and smoking weed until it's time to walk out on stage, and then he just
Yeah,
strolls out there and sounds fucking
yeah, and
perfect.
just
Yeah,
shreds it. Yeah, yeah.
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 Uh,
He was like he was an organic, great vocalist. Like
Yeah.
one of
And
those.
those albums that they made together are just amazing.
Yeah.
Those are
yeah.
fucking
I was lucky
amazing.
enough to see Heaven and Hell in San Antonio,
Oh, nice.
on a tour. I don't even remember who opened or who played with him at that time. I think it was I don't even remember, but it was a it was great. You know what I mean? To go, holy shit, man! Like this is amazing sounding.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
To be there at the concert.
One of their last releases was Heaven and Hell at Waken or Wacken, however you say it. And there's an 18-minute version of Heaven and Hell. And
Wow.
when Dio wraps that song up at the very, I remember the first time I heard it, and he, I don't think they broke the news that he was, dying of stomach cancer. But
Yeah.
uh, when that song ends, I remember going, God damn, it just, and you've heard, how many times have you heard that song? But that performance specifically was just epic.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
man. I think it's great when you can capture moments in time like that because they don't die, right?
no, yeah,
Our mortal body passes on, but the media stays forever, and I think we're fortunate for that.
That's why you got to keep dropping live albums. Just every few albums, just keep dropping them because
yeah.
that's it. You summed it up right there, Silky.
Now, Stephen, when you go over to Europe,
Mhm.
are you gonna like have all of your albums at the booth when you go? Because some of these people that are gonna see you uh, they're maybe have not heard of you or
Yeah, who are you
uh,
playing? What are some of the other bands you're gonna be playing with over there?
Oh, gee whiz, man! The Stoomfest bill is pretty stacked. You put me on the spot. I can't even
Oh,
think
that's
right
okay.
now. But we will we're completely sold out of the very first album, and Chosen One, as far as I know, is sold out. I don't have any copies of it,
oh, that sucks.
but we still have a few copies of After the Fall left, and we still have a few copies of the live album left. So we're going to travel with what we can carry. I,
I
I
got you.
I normally ask Todd if he has any inventory in the UK store, and if he does, he'll send it to me if he
Oh,
has
okay,
it.
yeah. And so it's just vinyl that you had. Like I would try to get stacks of CDs or just
Yeah, man.
something.
Like, dude, the first pressings go so fast, and on
Yeah.
Ripple, on Ripple, we don't get a lot of second or third pressings of stuff, So
Oh,
like once it's out, it's fucking out, and
wow.
like
Wow.
I don't get any more of it. So
Yeah.
now, because I
Wow.
get people all the time asking me for the first, second, third album on CD, and I personally have zero copies, and it's always the first thing that sells out on Bandcamp.
And see, I would just be fucked if you took it off of Spotify. Like I'd be like, oh no.
That's
There,
the big gamble. It's like we don't know, like what could happen to, like, they're always one fucking lawsuit away from just shutting down. You never
right.
know, man.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, I
There
don't
are
I don't know
some.
what's going to happen.
I'm on the Stoom. So for our listeners, stoomfest.com, go check it out. Great fucking lineup here. Some really good bands. Um, uh, and one band in particular that is just fucking fantastic that's going to be playing with you guys is Color Haze. Have you ever listened to them?
Yeah, yeah. Color Haze is amazing.
They
I'm
are.
excited to see Frog Lord too. Believe it or
That's
not.
the other one I was going to mention.
Yeah,
Frog Lord.
yeah,
Frog Lord is just wild because of the
dude.
whole frog character,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're and all their albums are frog this and frog that.
Nice.
Interesting fucking band.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna rattle some of this off. Stone Jesus, uh, Black Willows, Slowmatics, Khan, Frog Lord, Thunder Horse, of course, Holy Stone, Kaiser, Earl of Hell, great fucking name.
Great band.
Color Haze, Savannah, Red Sun, Atacama,
Mhm.
The Lunar Effect, Mahiga, Dunes,
Dude's another
Sleep.
great band.
I'll have to check them out.
Cool.
Sleeping Mountain, Astro Queen, Orbiter, School Disco. Stoomfest.com. Everybody go check that out and get your tickets if you're in London. Or if you got the money, fly the fuck out there and
Dude,
see
and I
these
bet
guys.
you're gonna have some hardcore metalheads at that festival.
Yeah, Stoomfest is like it's not as big as Desert Fest. It doesn't
Right,
go for like 4 days like Desert Fest does.
Hmm.
It's a
right.
couple of days, but it's the hardcore guys. It's the dudes that like get
Been
there
there.
early and stay there late. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and
a
all their
great
battle
crowd.
jackets and
Yep.
patches, and yeah, that's
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah, I'm super. Well, this is our first time playing Stoomfest, and I'm really excited to, I'm excited just to be there and to be invited by those guys is a big deal for us because, like I said, it's only a couple days and there's a billion bands to choose from, and to be on that
Right.
like limited bill is a big,
Sure.
it's an honor for us to be able to play.
I I love it.
I'm gonna be making playlists of every band on here that I don't already have a playlist of.
it's funny we Steven did the first show with us, and I really started listening to the cat because I make a playlist when we do these if you can of a band that we do on the show, and I would email him randomly, uh, just talking shit about whatever, but he would always respond. It was just cool over the last year and a half or whatever. Just the interactions I've had with Steven, just checking in and saying hey and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just cool as hell to have you back on and catch up and hear how things are going.
Thanks,
Where
man.
can
Go ahead.
where can people find out about your band? Where's the
Well,
best place to go?
we have thunderhorseofficial.org, or you can go to .com. Like we own a bunch of the domains, and then the Ripple stuff, and then Facebook. Like I said, we're old, so we still use Facebook. I'm on X because I'm all into the X platform.
We're
And
on X. We'll
yeah,
follow you.
Todd, the guitar player, is big on Instagram. He's the Instagram guy. So I'm and our drummer Johnny is the TikTok dude. So I think we have a little bit of a footprint everywhere, and we try to keep it updated as much as we can. It's just you know, there's a lot happens in a slow amount of time. So
That's very cool.
Yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah,
Cool.
man. I love chatting with you guys. I appreciate you having me back, man. It's always a good time. It feels like talking to friends from high school, and
Yeah, and that's I've said this before on the show. We shoot for like just an organic late night hang with somebody, and you just talking music, and wherever it goes, that's where it go.
yeah.
Uh,
I
and
will
that's
say
just what we've always tried to do.
badass. I will say on that Stoomfest playlist, definitely check out Dunes and definitely check out Earl of Hell. Earl of Hell is a Scottish band, super duper great guys, and
Nice.
Dunes they're like our homeboys, man, from the UK. They're just unbelievably cool dudes, and their band is badass, like just great band.
Cool.
Now, are these bands? Do they ever get over to the U.S. or are they?
Ryan, High Desert Ryan is really good about grabbing some of those guys and getting them to come over here. It's like Kyle
Nice.
L wouldn't be here without Ryan.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the dude.
Yeah.
And Ryan actually booked this tour for us. Lick of My Spoon single-handedly booked every single show that we have in the UK on this run. And then, I love the guy like a brother. We've known each other for decades. We're both like
Mhm.
San Antonio guys, right? And to see what he's done in such a short period of time in this scene with Ripplefest, Texas, and all the other stuff that High Desert Queen is doing, the
Mhm.
guy's just a fucking beast. Like for him to be able to quit his job and like do music full time is, I'm jealous of the guy.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
are we.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool as shit.
you're like you say, you still have this job. Is there any scenario where you would step away and just do Thunder Horse full time?
No, man, if I was like fucking, Ed Sheeran,
30?
maybe, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, like I said, I'm in the mid 50s.
Yeah, same.
I've done a dozen years on the road in the van to the buses back to the van. I've run the gauntlet before. Do I
Yeah.
love it? Yeah. Do I still love playing music? Yeah. the only time I actually go out at night is when the band is playing. You know what I mean? Or
Right,
somebody.
right.
So it's I'll never get over playing rock and roll, and I'll never get over playing live. I don't think ever. But
Yeah,
would I give it all up and do it full time professionally again? I don't think I
yeah.
can. I
Yeah,
don't think I can.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a good balance going.
you got to know your limitations, and I'd be the first one to say that I have put myself in some of the most precarious positions, all for the metal, for the rock,
Yeah.
uh, traveling all night, staying up all night, whatever. And I went to a show up in Tampa a year ago, and you're out there baking in the sun, the whole deal. And it was just a moment where I was like, oh my God, you might be too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, of course, I told myself to shut the
No,
fuck up. And,
my logic is because I get my wife will tell a common refrain is when are you going to grow up? And I'm like, Lemmy never had to grow up, so I
no,
never have to grow up,
yeah, I'll
you
grow
know?
up when I'm dead, you
Yeah.
know?
I've got some great Lemmy stories from back in the LA years. We'll have to do another chat where we can sit and talk, tell Lemmy stories.
Yeah, no.
Well, we'll hit
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna make a note next time you're on. We're gonna hit you up for the Lemmy
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah, we'll probably hit you up in another 6 months. You know, maybe after the tour, we'll check
Yeah,
in with you.
yeah,
Yeah. We'll be over there for 3 weeks, which is great. That's a perfect amount of time for us, and we're hitting, like I said, I think 13 shows, 12 or 13 shows. So that's a lot for the UK, and
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the whole
that's a lot of
fucking
shows for a
country.
small island. Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're playing with some good friends here and there, and get to do Stoomfest, which is badass. And then in 27, we're getting some bites already for like a proper European tour. Well, we'll get over
nice,
there, and then in 28, I think we're going to go back to Japan again. So we kind of have the next few
Nice.
years
fucking
lined out.
a.
Oh, see, that's what I wanted to hear. That's great. And I would say when the album drops, it would be great to get you back on and just dissect the album and you
Yeah,
know,
that would be awesome.
We'll
It
do a
sounds
listening party. It'll be fun.
that's
like you got a good one coming out.
like
So
that.
we'll hit you up for it.
All
All right,
right.
well, we're going to say goodbye to the audience. Hang on for a little wrap up afterwards. Keep it real, everybody. Peace out.
Deuces.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.